It's the Friday Wrap mid-month edition, and just Pete. We got Reet, who is again taking care of her health. This flu and stuff is just cycling. I know a lot of people that have had it. I've had the cough. It keeps cycling on me. So, anyways, Reet is off again this week, and we're hoping that she's going to get better. Say your prayers out there for her, would you please, and help her get through. And of course, being the coldest month we've had in a long time for January, I think a lot of people are sick. It's really, really dry out there, and it's once you close all those windows and doors and you're running your heat, everything dries out, the sinuses dry out, so you end up with the cold and flu and all kinds of things. And of course, a lot of people have the situation where you're going out of both ends. So I haven't had the pleasure of that this year, and hopefully I don't. Last Friday, a week ago today, we had the opportunity to host the Gala. Again, Rita was there, wasn't feeling well, so when you see this video, you're going to see me, but you're going to get a chance to look at the decor, which was outstanding, and I have to congratulate my daughter Stephanie, who put together the whole decor and menu, and Ruth Chris, an outstanding job. The meal was incredible. I went around every table and asked people, I said, so is there anything else we could do? I was, no, this is amazing. When are you going to do the next one? So outstanding job. Our guests were incredible. So I'm going to let you get an inside look at the Dreams Take Flight Gala, which went on a week ago today. And we'll look at some of the guests, Mike Robitaille, and a pretty funny Ralph Mellanby. Showing up tonight, first of all, in the nasty, nasty weather we're having out there. A lot of people didn't make it from Toronto. The people from Dreams Take Flight didn't make it down. Jim Ralph, who was supposed to be down here and doing a little entertaining, the guy who does the Fan 590 Maple Leaf coverage, didn't make it down. But anyways, you guys made it. Round of applause for all of you who made it tonight on behalf of Dreams Take Flight. Now, somebody who did make it is a guy who used to play in the National Hockey League, played for New York, Buffalo, then he went out to Vancouver, and he played for New York again, right? And he was also a broadcaster for the Sabres, Mike Robitaille. Now, Mike, who was the toughest hockey player you ever played against?
Gee, the toughest guy, I don't know, you always think of players that are physically tough, and I always found certain players, I looked at them as being tough in different ways, not necessarily physically, but just dominant as far as giving everything they had in the game. And I was talking to Steve Ledvick, as a matter of fact, just a while ago, and brought up a name, a guy like Rick Dudley, as an example. When I'll give you an example, Rick Dudley. You talk about, you know, anybody can make it if you really want to make it, and you're about to pay, in some cases, a wicked price to make the National Hockey League and stay there. When Rick Dudley, when he was playing junior hockey, he was so bad. I believe in his last year of junior hockey, he scored 1 goal, and we used to sit on the bench and laugh at him because he couldn't turn, he couldn't, and he hardly ever played, but they kept him because he tried. Then all of a sudden, he's my teammate in Buffalo. And I'm not laughing anymore. The guy turned out to be, he was a 30-goal scorer in the National Hockey League, and you couldn't stop him. I mean, he'd bite a crossbar in half for his teammates. There was nothing he wouldn't do to win a hockey game, and he was almost unstoppable. So I got to play against Rick when I was out in Vancouver, and I found out what it's like to play against a competitor. And those are the players you know, that I think of, not necessarily the superstars. That's pretty obvious for all of us to think of the superstars and the great tough guys like John Ferguson and so on, and what he was. All these guys deserve everything they got. They did what they had to do to make the National Hockey League and to stay there for many, many years and compete.
Hockey Night in Canada. How many people remember Hockey Night in Canada? Oh, you do? Yeah. Executive producer for 18 years, and he's the guy that put Don Cherry in the chair. There he is. Ralph Melby going to say a few words.
I don't hold you up long so you can all go yapping again. But, thanks for the introduction. The last time I was introduced as the man who inflicted Don Cherry on an unsuspecting nation. Poor Don. I would give you a couple of Don Cherry stories and I'll sit down. But, Don's now dressed, by the way, by Cirque du Soleil. I get a lot of mileage out of this guy, I discovered. I'll give you my two best Don Cherry stories, and then I'll sit down. We put Don once up in the booth with Danny Gallivan and Dick Irvin. How can you go wrong? And he's up in the booth, and Claude Ruel was coaching the Canadians, and he had lost one eye. And Glenn Sonmore, am I interrupting you? And Glenn Sonmore was the other coach for Minnesota, and he only had one eye. And so finally Dick and Danny decided to bring Don Cherry out in the booth and say something. And we had a split screen up of the two coaches yelling at one another. And Don's first words were, "There's the two coaches not seeing eye to eye."
Ralph Mellenby, always bringing it down the house. I'll tell you, everybody was chuckling in that. My favorite part is when he asked if he was interrupting something over there. So he's always, it was great. It was just an amazing night, and we had so much fun raising money for Dreams Take Flight, and the night never ended. Once we had the dinner, and we had the silent auction, then we had dancing all night. So it was a great evening. And let me tell you something. If you've never had an ice wine martini, and this is the ice wine season here in Niagara, they're truly amazing. Now, this weekend, today Friday, a sunny day. It's above freezing. And then on the weekend, we get some sunshine and some really, well, it's going to feel like spring to us because we're going to be around anywhere from 7 to 10 Celsius, which is around 45 to 50 degrees. So it's going to be really, really nice. Eric Lindros in the news, which shocks me. Eric Lindros has his jersey retired by the Philadelphia Flyers. And, of course, that was a big battle back then. But he's the sixth player to have his jersey retired by the Flyers. And I was never really a fan. After he didn't want to play for the Nordiques and he was calling the shots, I wasn't really a big fan of his. He's a talented player, hard-hitting player, and of course concussions took him out of the game. And I did get the opportunity to see him a few times. I just found that he was a guy that played at the end of a game when it really counted, when there was a goal to be sniffed out. So not a fan, but did appreciate his skills, and he now has his jersey hanging in the rafters in Philadelphia. And when we come back on the Friday Wrap, we're going to talk about Pat Sorbera, climate change on the Friday Wrap. Stay with us. So a key player in the Sudbury bribery trial, Pat Sorbera, who was the campaign director for the Liberal Party and, of course, our illustrious Premier Wynne, is not going to be a part of the campaign this year. Shocking surprise, but that announcement was made yesterday. And in this little soiree of, she didn't do it and Premier Wynne went to trial, who said she had no knowledge of what had happened up there. And basically what they did was they offered somebody who was running to be the Liberal candidate, was supposedly bribed out and said, look, we'll give you a great job after if you let this person run. And of course, Premier Wynne said she knew nothing about it, but yesterday she said that was a really close friend and sorry to see her go. So I think friends know a little bit more than they say they know, but anyways, that's the situation. She's no longer going to be a part of that campaign. And on to climate change, and I guess 2017 has surpassed 2015 and 2016 as the hottest year on record. And it was around 0.8 degrees above average. Now, before you get your girdles in a knot, let's think about this. We're talking about a microspec in history of climate change. And I think we've only been covering and recording weather for 100 or some odd years, which is nothing. So, I mean, to go and say, oh my God, here it goes, we're in trouble, the planet's dying, and we've got to watch what we're doing. First of all, if it's cars, then what we need to do, if they say it's all CO2 and it's coming from cars, and of course there's industrial pollution, which I think in a lot of cases has been taken care of, but they have the opportunity to change that. They have the opportunity to put vehicles in with hydrogen, running on hydrogen. They have better systems. You can have more fuel efficient so you're not using as much oil. So before we all jump up and go, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And you start going like this, yeah, we got to give up for climate change and we got to pay carbon tax and all this stuff. Look into it. Do your research. Don't just follow blindly. I always tell people, you know, don't listen to the media. Don't listen to your politicians. Do some research. And this kind of stuff is really, really important for us to look at. So on to more fun things. Let's go to the NFL. And last week, Reet and I did the picks, so I'm going to go through that. Now, both of us picked the Patriots over Tennessee, and of course the Patriots won, and that's why I'm wearing my jersey. We go to Atlanta and Philadelphia. Now, I picked Atlanta, and she picked Philadelphia, so she beat me there. And then the Jacksonville-Pittsburgh game, which, you know what? Pittsburgh lost on coaching. I'm sorry, but he made some really, really bad decisions. I picked Pittsburgh. She picked Jacksonville. And then in the New Orleans, Minnesota Vikings game, I picked, and we both picked, New Orleans, of course, lost in the last and final moments, which was kind of just an incredible game to watch. I was really pulling for the Saints, but they didn't make it. So Reet wins. Reet called the NFL better than I did. And if we look at this weekend, of course, I'm going to go with the Patriots. And then the Vikings game, Philadelphia. Tough one, but I'm going to go with the Vikings. And of course, it'd be really nice to have a home team at the Super Bowl out in Minnesota. So that's what we got going this week on the Friday Wrap. We'll see you next week, and hopefully you're going to have an incredible week. And we'll see you all next Friday on the Friday Wrap. Until then, God bless.